and the Ad Council.
Come to the forest. It's a place not so far away where you don't have to mow the lawn or babysit. Ask your parents to take you to where the other you lives. But first, stop by discovertheforest.org, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is a paid program and is provided for informational purposes only.
Hello, happy Friday, and thank you for tuning in to KXXT 1010 AM's Inspired Living, the inspiration station for the nation. I'm your excited host, Aqueela Maddox, also known as the Inspirationalist. I am the founder and owner of Belief LLC, where we aspire to inspire healthy growth in every aspect of your life. Here on Inspired Living, you will receive productive information that promotes personal development, including a healthy heart, mind, and spirit, as well as professional development, which includes career growth and business expansion. All of this done by Perspective Empowerment. I don't know about you, but I am super excited for today. Not just because it's Friday, but because the Lord made the day, and he said, rejoice and be glad in it. So it doesn't matter how much traffic you had to fight to get to where you're going today. It doesn't matter who worked your nerves. For some of the kids, they super stoked because they no school today. And depending on where you are, school, of course, is still going. But it's still Friday, and he made the day. So the day is still good. Alrighty, I know that I have put some information online out there about Teen Talk was coming to town, similar to that of Santa Claus. But guess what? It's not December. It's already here. Super, super excited for Teen Talk, where we have real teens, real conversation, and real solutions. We have with us some special guests in the building, live and in the flesh. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Hey! I want you all to give a lovely, warm welcome to Kyle and Kaylee. Say hello, guys.
Hello. Hi.
Woo! Okay, so this is their first time making a radio appearance, so you guys know how this goes. Even the Inspirationalist starts out a little bit nervous, like, oh my God. And nobody can see us. You'd be like, what? Why are you nervous? Ain't nobody can see you. But we see each other, right?
Yeah.
It makes us kind of nervous, huh?
Yeah. Got like butterflies right now.
Yes. So anywho, don't be nervous. This is some good table talk. We also have a very special guest with us. And is he on the line with us? David? Or Dave, are you with us? Dave Brown?
Yes, I'm with you.
What? It's about to go down. Okay, David. So, David, would you prefer Dave or David?
Either or, however you want to do it.
Okay, well, I'm feeling biblical-ish, so let's call you David. Is that all right?
Yes, that's cool.
Anyhow, welcome, David, to Inspired Living. Thank you so much for taking our time today to be a guest as well.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Awesome sauce. Okay, so we have with us Kyle, Kaylee, and we have David Brown on the phone. And David, where are you located? Where were you right now? Because I know you all everywhere. San Diego.
I just got back down to San Diego from LA. So.
See, he's all over. He's all around. So, thank you so much for taking out your time to call in. David Brown, you guys, is like super amazing because he is an inspirational pastor, which is a little different than a regular pastor I take it, huh, David?
Yes, a lot different.
I like it. Give us a little explanation on that.
Inspirational. I look to build relationships with people that are non-Christian to those that are Christian, and kind of mirror the image of, more of a better you in Christ, more so than just doing traditional church.
Got you. I like it. So what's so crazy is I'm an inspirationalist and he's an inspirational pastor. So I think that was just like a connection right there. It was just a connection.
Like a marriage.
You better know it. So listen, but look, without the work, I ain't got to cook dinner. Amen. I don't got to do any of that. So what we want to talk about today, you have an amazing thing we were talking about. Is it a program or a book called The 5 Degrees of Nothing, correct?
Yes, it's called Generation Empty.
Oh, okay.
And what we talk about in the actual book is the 5 dimensions of nothingness.
Okay. Now go elaborate. What's that? What that look like?
Well, the number one thing we kind of talked about in introduction with the book is why are church youth leaving the church. and why was church unattractive to young people or non-Christians.
Mm-hmm.
And I did this study about 5 years ago, and it just became a very big demand, and I began to go speak at places and kind of did a lot of marketing. And we found that there were 5 different dysfunctions of nothingness that caused people in their jobs, people in their marriage, people, everywhere to be able to become disconnected and absolutely accomplish nothing. And those are being dysfunction, disconnection, disengagement, distraction, and disposability.
Mm. Wow. That's a lot of this. Another thing that I know we talked about was what nothing produces and how it affects our life, right? And our faith and things like that. So you were saying, and like when it dealt with teens or us in general, to be honest with you, like when we're not producing, what does that do to us?
When we're not producing, what it does is that it takes away our confidence from being able to accomplish our dreams and to be productive. And so something that I call the spirit of procrastination take over. And so people will never become or do the things that they have been called to do or that they're gifted to do simply because they've become paralyzed with procrastination.
Okay. So we're on with our Teen Talk today. This is the launch of our Teen Talk. And so this is definitely our first conversation opportunity at being able to have conversation with our teenagers. So I don't know if you heard, did you hear my introduction with Kyle and Kylie?
Yes, they did.
Awesome sauce. Just checking. They are ready. They look like they're ready to dive in. Y'all ready to dive in?
Yeah.
They like, yes, let's get it on. Okay, so here's the thing. Now, when you talk about nothingness, what does nothingness look like? And then we're going to have this opportunity because we don't have a few more minutes, but I want to talk about what does that look like? And then I want my teens to dive in and give some feedback.
Okay. Well, as I picture about 20 years ago in America, more people read books. It was less TV, less color TV. There were less reality TV shows. And then there wasn't Facebook. I think they had just came out with MySpace, which failed amazingly. Everybody didn't have computers. We had the old floppy disk. It was just a whole different era, and within 20 years, we saw a major change. And so nothingness is things that occupy our minds that stop us from being productive. And so I would call that things like Candy Crusher. That was one thing that really got me because I had a lot of friends that would do Candy Crusher. And at the end of the day, you accomplish nothing. And people would spend hours and hours and get mad because they're like, man, I can't pass level 96. And so what happens is that take away time for us to be productive in accomplishing our goals and pursuing our dreams and visions.
Okay, so listen. I don't play Candy Crusher. Don't judge me, y'all. Okay? I've never played Candy Crusher. I was a Angry Birds girl myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be on Angry Birds for a good amount of time. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys play video games, first of all, on your phone? Apps and stuff?
Yeah. He does a lot.
I do, yeah. I like to play games that are hard.
Like what?
A game called Magic Touch. You have to draw.
I love that game.
And you have to draw little symbols to pass the level, and they come up really fast. And
He's like the game king. I don't
yeah.
play games that much, but I do play them every once in a while.
You do?
He's playing them all on the car ride here.
So did you hear what he's saying? Do you hear what David is saying?
Yeah.
About now, what do you think about, where he said that this becomes such a distraction where we don't produce and then we begin to be procrastinators and things like that? Like, what do you think about that, Kyle? Because you play video games.
It makes sense. I understand because sometimes I do feel like I sit there for a while and then when I'm done, like I finally finish something, I'm like, man, that much time has gone by and I haven't done very much today. But at the same time, it's also a good distraction from those things that our goals, It's nice sometimes when we're always like focusing on things that we have to do to, focus on something else for a little while. And
okay.
Yeah.
And then what about you, Kylie? Like, what do you do in your free time?
I watch TV.
Watch TV. Veg out. The brain takes a break, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you like to watch?
I I don't know. I like Doctor Who a lot.
Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't judge me. I don't know what that is either. I'm like, now I got to go YouTube all this stuff. Doctor Who, the magic touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to keep up. So how do you think the watching TV, how do you think that makes you, I mean, how do you think that affects you and your productivity?
Well, I usually get everything that I need to get done eventually. I mean, I do procrastinate just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Be like, one more episode, and then I'll be done.
Okay.
No, wait, that ended on a cliffhanger. I need to watch another episode. Then I'll be done.
Okay. So, what he's also saying. So dive in, David, too. Feel free to dive in, like, about about the theory, because it's not just talking about it, but how do we get to a place? Because I want to find out, from you all, because I know Kyle said something good. He says this is a break away from productivity. He's like, I want to produce. I have goals, right? You have things that you set your mind out to accomplish.
Yeah, of course.
But you want to take a break from that sometimes.
Yeah.
David, what you got?
Okay, so more so the research and the study was not based upon, I believe that there should be an even blend. But this is for a person that has got addicted to everything else, that they are distracted from being able to accomplish goals such as homework and such as getting certain things done. I love with Kyla, I believe she said that she tries to get everything done and eventually she gets it done. But a lot of times I feel that young people, and I remember myself, we will be so focused on other things that it consumes us. So like when you're spending about 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, I think we did a study and found out that about 67% of young people said that they spend at least 6 hours on Facebook, watching TV, or doing games. And then they only spend about 20 to 35 minutes on doing schoolwork.
Oh, wow. Please hold.
Or reading a book.
Right. Okay, we're gonna pause right there and put a pin right there at that statement, because that was alarming. And we're going to definitely dive in as we get prepared to take a break right here. So when we come back, we'll definitely talk about it. I just want to, again, thank my special guests for being here today. Thank you so much, Kyle and Kylie, for being here. And give a shout out to your school real quick.
North Academy, yay!
ACAA, the best.
Woohoo! Yes, they are no longer in school as of yesterday. It was their last day. So super, super excited for that. Thank you so much, David Brown, as well, for chiming in by way of the phone lines. I want to let everybody know that you are tuned in to Inspired Living, the inspiration station for the nation. And I'm your super excited host. Here, like I said, we've got some folks live here in the building. Our first teen talk, ladies and gentlemen, here on a wonderful sunny Friday in Phoenix, Arizona. And as always, you know how we do it. I'll see you on the other side of the break.
Some days life feels perfect. Other days it just ain't working. The good, the bad, the right, the wrong, and everything in between. Yo, it's crazy, amazing. We can turn our heart through the words we say. Mountains crumble with every syllable. Hope can live or die.
Why does your child need an Arizona identification card? Because more than 2,000 children are reported missing every day. With an Arizona ID card, law enforcement can respond even faster during an Amber Alert. It also protects children against identity theft. Get your child an Arizona ID card at any Motor Vehicle Division office. Learn more at azdot.gov/childid. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Crippling complexity and enormous unexpected cost. Entrepreneurs, there is a better way. Even the most convoluted business can be simplified and made future ready. Learn how to build for change so your business can be ready for anything. Join me, Dr. Kim, and Dwayne Bluestein on the Entrepreneur Show Mondays at 10 a.m. only on Family Values Radio, 1010 a.m. KXXT. Sponsored by the Road to 777. Give to many. Support the Road to 777.com.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present.
When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium.
When I grow up, I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
When I grow up, I want to be a fancy backsplash.
I want to be a bike that races around the country.
When I grow up,
I want to be a bench on a forest trail. I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch. I want to be a skyscraper. I want to be
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi. I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, before I left my campsite, I was putting out my fire, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me?
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. He likes it when people correctly put out their campfires. He's pretty big on wildfire prevention. He's just letting you know you did good with a hug. He's a hugger.
I just got a bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update!
All right, I'm going to let you go now. I've got a lot of ranger stuff to do. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. But every driver seeks the pinnacle of their achievements. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
So speak life to the deadest, darkest night. Speak life, when the sun won't shine and you don't know why. Look into the eyes of the
Welcome back to Inspired Living, the inspiration station for the nation. I'm your host, Aqueela Maddox, also known as the Inspirationalist. And we are here live today with our first Friday Teen Talk, where we have Kyle in the building. Say what's up.
What's up?
Woohoo! And we have Kaylee.
Hi.
Yeah. Now you get to totally be like whatever personality you want to be. You can make funny faces. Nobody can see it. Right? Nobody can see it. It's all good. Okay. Oh, you know what?
I can see your faces.
Oh, okay, guys. That's the guy who pushes the buttons, also known as Ramon.
If you make funny faces, I have to see them.
I'm sorry. So I just stuck my tongue out and crossed my eyes, guys, and obviously he wasn't too pleased with that. So let's get back to business and not making faces. Well, I can't make any promises, Ramon. You know how I get.
You're always super excited, though.
Exactly. So I can't make any promises. My eyes do roll around sometimes in my excitement. But anywho, and we have David Brown in the building, guys.
Hey.
Woohoo! All the way from San Diego. He flew all the way through the airlines. through the airwaves, airwaves to join us right now in our table talk about basically the value of nothingness and how it really affects. He was talking about our faith, our hope, our ability to even recognize we can accomplish things. I mean, this conversation that he and I had prior to this show got me so excited. I was like, this is definitely something we need to talk about with teenagers, not just to say, hey, you guys need to get off your phones and stop playing all the time and stop playing video games, but really to have these conversations around why is it that you're driven to that? What is it? What can we do to help it? What are you bored with? What do you consider excitement? All this stuff so we can really walk through this process, because I'm not a teenager anymore, although I'd like to think so. I am not. So, I mean, I think I'm cool. What about you guys? Y'all think I'm cool?
Yeah.
Could I pass as a teenager?
Yeah.
Okay, Kyle hesitated. Listen, right, David? Kyle hesitated. He just breathed heavy. He was just like,
That's what I heard.
He was just like, no. So I got you, Kyle. I'm not, obviously. In fact, my birthday is next Monday. Not this coming Monday, but June 1st Monday. So definitely.
How old you turn?
I'm going to be 34. I'm not ashamed. I'm appreciative of every year the Lord gives me. So I am going to be 34 teen years old. So I'm super excited about it. Yes, super stoked. So, anywho, you were breaking it down and you were like, right before we went to the break, you were talking about, saying like how many hours and how that they spent, like, there was a research study showed that there was like 5, 6, 7 hours spent in like TV, a combination of, guys. So don't think like just watching TV 5 hours, but a combination of TV, video games, all these different things, apps and Facebook, booking your face, Instagram, Twitter, tweeting and all that, right? Pinteresting and all that. I've heard people say, I've got a Pinterest wedding. I'm like, you do? Do I get an invite to that? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what you want to do with that. But like, there's so many different things out here now, so many options that are available. And so you were saying, but then the research also showed that we've got like 25 to 30 minutes, maybe on a good day, 45, huh, David, of study time.
Yeah.
How much time do you guys spend studying?
0.
Oh, Jesus.
Well,
they're masterminds. That's what that is.
I don't need to study. I get it all done in school, so most of the time.
You hear this?
I study sometimes, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the way home.
Pretty much the same for me, too.
Okay. So there's not really, so you know what, David, that presents a different challenge, because what if the schools are not giving them a lot to do at home?
So that's where we go in. And I like the way that in a book that Miles Monroe wrote, In Pursuit of Purpose, he said the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but a life with no purpose.
Yeah, of course.
So it could be anything from reading a book. It could be from anything to doing something to invest within your knowledge and expand who you are as a knowledge base. And I do understand that our schools now are teaching less curriculum and more things are being pushed to get students done in class. And then I believe they have a rule now where no child left behind. And that's a big movement as well, saying, you know what, we're going to just pass along the children no matter what. And so those are things that we should do. I think it's a parenting job as well to just make sure that your child is investing at least 1 book a week, or 2 books a month or something like that, where you're feeding your mind.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what do you guys think about that?
I read a lot.
You do?
Yeah.
What's your favorite type of literature?
Fiction.
Fiction? Okay, yeah. Give me a book.
What
title that you like?
My favorite book would probably be The Fifth Wave.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
I can't say that I read as much as Kylie, but I do like fiction books.
You do like fiction books?
Yeah.
What other things do you guys do? Okay, how about this? This is a question that I would always ask every single one of my clients. What are your hobbies?
My hobbies?
Mm-hmm. Even if they're inactive, which means that you may not be using them right now, but what are the things that you enjoy doing?
I like to draw. I draw a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of say I'm pretty good at it, too.
Okay. What else?
And would you consider, like, sports a hobby?
Everything. Anything you can think of. If it's just simply crossing your eyes, making faces at Ramon, I want to hear about it.
I snowboard, but obviously I can't do that, like, a lot since we live in Arizona.
Okay. What else? Think of 4 things. That's
4
2.
things. Okay, that's 2. Oh, I paint. I take, like, really expensive lessons and stuff.
I can dig it.
Mm-hmm.
One more
thing. This is kind of hard.
I know.
Sleeping?
Sleeping.
Does that really count? I don't think it does.
I'm not going with sleeping. I need another one.
Okay, I play with my siblings a lot.
Okay.
That's...
Okay. What about you, Kyle?
I like to draw as well.
Okay.
I do a lot of that. I also act a lot, and I also sing a lot.
Okay.
And I think I like to swim a lot as well.
Okay.
Because, Arizona, we have access to that.
We do. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. It's very important. We only have a couple minutes because, like I said, very short segment, but we're going to continue to expound upon this in our next segment. But very, very important for you to even know what your hobbies are. I think a lot of the times, David, and tell me if you agree, a lot of people are not really tapping into what hobbies look like anymore. You know what I mean? To find what other areas they can build upon.
Yeah, you're correct. And in the book, we kind of deal with a section in there dealing with distraction is a weapon of self-destruction. And so a lot of times when we're distracted on everything else, it's a weapon of self-destruction that is in our own personal lives. And so one of the other things that we saw with a lot of young people is that they were distracted in classes. They were very disengaged with other people and different things like that. And so that's one thing that we do. And that's why we call it Generation Empty, because we don't want young people to be empty, because there's so much fullness that can be in this generation. So there's so much, but we've taken a lot of things like prayer out of school. We've taken out, different other moral things within school. And so I think that it is an important thing, and that's something that I do with churches across the nation and with schools across the nation, is that I go and I just try to let young people know that it starts now while you're young, when you're in junior high, when you're in high school.
Awesome. Well, we want to, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but we're definitely going to continue to go up on that because we want them to be full as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to Inspired Living, the inspiration station for the nation, here with Aqueela Maddox, also known as the Inspirationalist. And as always, I'll see you on the other side of the break.
Yo, it's crazy, amazing. We can turn our heart through the words we say. Mountains crumble with every syllable. Broken live or die.
Are you looking for a church where you can find Jesus and experience miracles in your life? Are you looking for answers to some of life's difficult challenges or resources to help you grow in your Christian walk? Look no further. Visit francismiles.com. Join Dr. Francis Miles in a life-changing anointed service every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. in Tempe. Get your copy of Dr. Francis Miles' best-selling book, The Order of Melchizedek. Call our miracle prayer line at 602-888-0364. We would love to hear from you.
On the next episode of Recipes for Disaster.
So we've got our neighbor Paul coming over tonight for a barbecue, which is why I prepared a delicious lemon rosemary steak marinade from my special collection of old family recipes. To make sure the steaks are extra, extra, extra tender, I left them marinating out on the counter overnight, just like Nana used to.
Maria may mean well, but without food safety, it never ends well. Always thaw or marinate foods in the refrigerator at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below, or you could make your friends and family really sick. Maria's neighbor Paul didn't think twice about the steak he ate until he was presenting his company's financial forecast to the board. That's when a sudden bout of food poisoning made it explicitly clear that profits weren't the only thing on the rise. Watch Recipes for Disaster at foodsafety.gov. You'll learn the right steps as Maria does everything wrong. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird, too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear.
I'm having a stroke.
You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
I'll pick you up after school. Okay, I got it.
It's easy to take a day for granted. You and your family are connected by routine, and you stick to it. But what if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if your day's routine is disrupted and you can't reach your family? Have you planned for that?
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Today, learn how at www.ready.gov. Ready.gov. This message brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
This is the sound of salmonella gyrating on your undercooked chicken. And it looks like Mom might be taking it out a little early. Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So use a thermometer to cook each type of meat to the right temperature. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
So speak life to the deadest, darkest night.
Hello, and thank you so much for tuning back into Inspired Living, the inspiration station for the nation, trying to empower this generation. I just kind of threw that out there. But anywho, I am your host, Aqueela Maddox, also known as the Inspirationalist, the founder and owner of Belief LLC, where we're aspiring to inspire healthy growth in every aspect of your life, no matter how old you are either. So we were just having a good old time on the break, and we were also singing in the intro song, Speak Life, because that's what we want to do, right? Yeah. To the what does it say? The baddest, darkest nights, right? Speak life to that. And so I super believe in that. And therefore, we have opened up this opportunity to have table talk, talking with our teens, real conversation, real solutions, right? And we're not coming to these solutions by ourselves. We're going to work through these things together, because I am 34 teen years old. So, David.
Yes, I'm here.
Are you... Oh, my goodness gracious. I didn't know what just happened here, but we're back. So, anywho, David Brown, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. So, we were just talking about with David Brown, ladies and gentlemen, from San Diego. He is an inspirational pastor, author, and a motivational speaker. Really quick, David, tell the world where they can find you. How will they get in contact with you? Where are you on social media?
I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm on all of the social media locations. And I can also be found davidbrownonline.com.
Awesome sauce. Super, like I said, very, very inspirational pastor. Has a really great vision, you guys, to build families and to love people. I was definitely excited about having him on the platform today to speak with my special guest, because I love my teenagers and definitely the generation that is, here underneath myself, because I want to empower them to become, definitely successful next leaders, not just next leaders, but we want them to be healthy in their heart, mind, and spirit, you guys, so that, because I always say that, defeated kids become defeated adults. If you guys don't know how to begin to produce at this age, you don't know how to produce when you're older, and we don't want you to be trying to teach. We don't want to have to worry about teaching old dogs new tricks. And the thing with that is, so many people have bought in the concept of that being a reality that they don't make any room for change. All right.
Correct. I agree.
Okay, so go ahead and dive back in, David.
Okay, so another area we kind of deal with is the disposable mindset. And this right here is more so that nowadays, I remember growing up, we had clean kitchen duties. We had, we went outside and we played and created things. I remember taking a cart, where they used to put milk in, and we used to make that into a basketball court. We had so many different things where we had to use our creativity, and we had to, develop relationships with people that were around us. And so today, more people are using microwaves. More people are using paper plates and paper cups. And so in the book, we kind of talk about how our mindset is disposable. This is a disposable generation. I know years ago, we had to keep shoes a lot longer. We didn't have the Jordans. We didn't have some of the different things that this generation has. And so we kind of went into disposability and why it's important that young people don't dispose of their gifts, don't dispose of the very things that God has given them as well.
That is absolutely so true. When you talk about the gifts, we only have a couple seconds here before we actually have to take our next break, our final break here. But when you talk about those gifts, it reminds me of the three men where one, buried his talent, right? And basically, I tell people all the time, like, okay, he buried the talent, which means that it was no longer being used or wasn't being multiplied. And that was the offense. It wasn't being multiplied. It still held value, right? It still meant something, right, but it didn't multiply. And that's what, that's the value in me asking people, like, what are your hobbies? Even if they're inactive, because now I want you to be intentional and aware of what those things are so that you can begin to multiply them. But you got to know what they are. You got to know what talents you have. If there's one, you have to know if there's one, or you have to know if the Lord has entrusted you with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. You have to know. You know what I'm saying? So I think you brought up a very, very great point. And I would like to, like I said, we're going to continue to talk about this. We're about to get ready for the break. Thank you, everybody, again, for being a guest on Inspired Living today. You are tuned in to KXXT 1010 AM's Inspired Living, the inspiration station for the nation. And I am your super excited host who's over here like choking and coughing and don't know why, guys. Like, this is super crazy. But anywho, I'm excited to be here with Kylie. We have Kyle, and we also have David Brown on the line. Stay tuned. We'll be back after the break.
Some days life feels perfect, other days it just ain't working. The good, the bad, the right, the wrong, and everything in between. Yo, it's crazy, amazing. We can turn our heart through the words we say. Mountains crumble with every syllable. A broken live or die.
I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and I would like to encourage everyone to make sure they are prepared financially as the Federal Reserve continues to destroy the value of the dollar. Since the closing of the gold window in 1971, the Federal Reserve has led the way in the explosion of debt and the devaluing of your money. They openly say that they need 2% inflation, which simply means they hope to devalue your money, and they want to do this every single year, year after year. I know it's hard to understand, but the Federal Reserve believes in prosperity through debt and growth via the devaluation of your future. To learn more about how to protect yourself, visit us at allamericangold.com or call us at 800-951-0592 and protect yourself against the devaluing of your money.
America. Welcome home the brave. The brave men and women who serve their country are coming home. Home to their cities and towns. Home to their mountains and valleys. Home to their families and friends. Home to America. Some of these warriors are coming home with wounds you can see, and some with wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Wounded Warrior Project was created to provide the support these wounded veterans need to ensure their return to America is well-adjusted and successful. But we need your help to ensure that our mission is a success. Help us honor and empower these wounded warriors. Contact us at findwwp.org. America, welcome home the brave.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cool time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
So speak life to the deadest, darkest night.
Hello and welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to KXXT's Inspired Living, the inspiration station for the nation. And I'm your host, Aqueela, also known as the Inspirationalist. And I'm super, super excited for our guest today. We have some teens in the building. Say a whoop, 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 whoop. Watch yourself. We have with us Kyle on the mic.
Hello.
Hello. I like it.
Yes.
And we have Kaylee.
Oi, what's up?
I like it. Oi. She said, oi. And David Brown, what country are you going to represent?
Oh, I'm just going to represent America.
He's not pulling out any accents today. Well, we would sure appreciate it if you decide to just bust out in anything. We'd be okay with it. But Kylie and Kyle wanted to dive in. They were going to save me as I was coughing. I had this coughing fit. And I hope I didn't interrupt everybody. But anywho, David, you was going in on some really good stuff about the value of gifts and how those gifts are being used and how they're being not used, right? And inactive and things like that. And so I want you to go really, start us off back at that point because Kylie and Kyle had some really good stuff that they wanted to add.
Okay, yeah. So I kind of talked about disposability and how we dispose of our gifts and of our talent. And I call it fruitfulness, and there's a scripture, where Jesus goes to the fig tree and on the outside it looked like it's good for fruit. He goes to eat it and it wasn't there, it was empty. But on the outside it looked good, but really it was disposable. And so many times I believe that if we're not careful, and the way that I talk about this is not all young people that are struggling with these different dimensions, or it could not even be as deep as like a major problem, but I mean, even adults, even myself, I struggle sometimes with disengagement, disposability, distraction. And so this is something that we should watch for and be aware of so we can be productive.
Absolutely. What do you think about that?
I feel it. I understand. And for me, it's more like the reason I'm drawn to these things, I feel, is because there are so many paths that I can choose from. I just don't know which path to go forward and go on.
That's good. That's good stuff. What about
really
you,
good.
Kim?
I like that.
Yeah. That's Kyle live and in the flesh, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I'm going to be perfectly honest here. I totally missed the question.
This is why I love teenagers. Listen, and guess what? I have a policy, what I call being totally naked. What that means is I'm totally free and uncovered and without shame. That means that you can do, this is a no flex zone, no judgment. We good. So I'm good with that. But what we're basically talking about, he said, for one, he's not just addressing teenagers. Adults struggle with the same thing. He just was giving examples of his own struggles, where there are times where he is also disengaged, not paying attention or distracted, should I say, because of a lot of the things that are going on. And then, recognizing that we have gifts, we have talents, we have things that we could be doing and building up on, but because of everything else, you're not expounding in that area. So what are your thoughts about that? Some people have better balance than others. Some, some kids don't or whatever, but what do you feel as far as to your engagement level? Are you engaged in life in and of itself? Or are you, so here's an example he gave, right? It's in the Bible. There's a tree. Now imagine if you walked up and you saw an orange tree, right? Now, you knew by the leaves that it was an orange tree, and you knew it was the season for the oranges to be ready. And then you walk up to it, and you're looking on it, and you like, you know what? Ain't even no oranges on this tree. Forget this tree, and you just walk away. You basically cursed that tree, and you said, you know what? Forget it. You ain't even really what you said you are. So what he said is that, what about that for us? What if, on the outside, we look like we should be productive, right? You guys look healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you look like you're smart, right? And then all of a sudden we go to have a conversation with you, or if I say, hi, Kaylee, I would like to know if you're willing to be on my show, and you're like, right?
Yeah.
You can't have a conversation with me, but you appear like you can. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's talking about that. Like, we have a lot of people that are that way. They young teenagers and adults is what he was saying. But I'm asking from a teen perspective. Like, do you guys see anything wrong with that?
Yeah. I mean, for example, the orange tree, on a simple glance, you're not going to see the oranges. But if you look harder, you might find some. But until you look, you're not going to find.
But if you get there and there is none, that's what I'm saying. What if you get close up and you're like, this is only a bunch of leaves?
What if it's not on the tree anymore? What if they fell on the floor?
First of all, this is real teenagers, ladies and gentlemen, because they're over here. They're messing up my analogy, David Brown.
I hear it.
They're messing up my analogy, ladies and gentlemen. Just take the analogy. No, just
or if the orange on the outside, it looked like a really nice juicy orange.
Come on, there you go. Help me,
Went in
Jesus.
to peel it, and there was nothing there. It was totally empty, or it was totally fine.
Take that
How
example.
would it make you feel if your mouth was ready for it?
How about
you were
that?
ready to dive in.
Now, how about that? Now, you got an orange, you peel it and everything, and it's empty. Now what? Don't be trying to flip that. You can't flip that around.
Well,
thank you, David. High five me in the air right now.
I got you.
Bam.
Well, that's a hollow orange.
Exactly. A hollow orange. So how would you, so that's what I'm saying. What if I walk up, you look like you're full of good stuff, full of good conversation, some laughs, some life, you're vibrant, and then I walk up to you and you're even on your phone. So that means that I can see that there's something that about you that tells me this is an intellectual young person. And then when I get to have a conversation with you, you're not even comfortable enough to speak to me. What's up with that?
Well, you need to learn some social skills first.
Right? Well, how are our young people developing social skills on the games, on the cell phones, on Facebook, things like that?
Well, on Facebook, you're talking to people, probably, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily the same, though. I guess when you're on Facebook, you're not necessarily talking to someone and developing the conversational skills that you would if you were in person talking to someone.
Exactly.
That is so true. That is so true. And one thing I realized, like, there was a commercial, I believe, an AT&T commercial, and the dad and son were right by each other, and it was so fun that they were texting each other. And I believe in the next 10 years, there will be no socialization in families or with young people. Everybody, if you're upstairs, you would just send a text downstairs to somebody. Or if you buy a person on a couch, what if relationships become like that? If you're married to someone, you never talk, y'all just send text messages, or y'all just communicate via social media. How would that be a balanced, relationship?
What do you think?
Are
you okay with that? What if your dad never talked to you? Or your mom? Like, instead of her, you say, Mom, what's for dinner? And she says, she puts her finger up like the church finger, and she says, texting you, and then and she texts you and says, we're having pizza. You're like, she's sitting right here.
Well, I have a 2-story house, so I actually do that.
Oh my God, I can't. David,
I'll call my mom and she's downstairs and be like, hey, can we go get our nails done?
Mom, stop answering. Don't answer. Nope. When he would try that, I'm ignoring. I'm like, I know he's not calling me from upstairs. See, we need to live together, Kylie. You need to come stay at my house for a weekend, and we're going to break that. Like, I'm going to be like, I need to hear you. I want to hear your voice. Now, here's the thing, really quick, because I know we don't have, a lot of time left. But listen, this is what happens, though, and this is what's so good about, David Brown. So I appreciate this. I swear to you so much. We'll have to, really dive in again and just have this conversation, because even with parents, I have some very passionate parents in here in the studio, guys, and it's the parents of Kyle and Kaylee, and they were saying, hey, what do? We need a support group. They're like, we need a group. Like, we need to be okay with being being outside the norm, because nowadays the norm looks so much different than the norm looked before. And the norm now, when you're telling your kids you can't have a cell phone, or I want you to still go outside, people are thinking that's neglectful. Your kids, they don't want to go outside, so don't make them. Bump that. It's 120 outside. So what? I used to play at -30. Like, you're fine. You'll be good. Like, I'm from Minnesota too. So I spent most of my life out there, cold country. You will be all right. And I did not like the snow. Okay. I mean, I wasn't just a big fan of it, no matter what color it was. But anywho, I definitely, so what we're saying is that when you're now in a place where you want to see your kids, happy, because this is happy. Like, we are like, I want to see my kids happy. I want to see you guys doing well. But I also recognize that I got to prepare you for the rest of your life. I'm not just preparing you for right now, guys. I'm preparing you for the rest of your life. And so what happens when you guys begin to, constantly be in a practice of not using your voice don't have no value.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like with Facebook. If you're using Facebook all the time, you're developing your Facebook skills, not your talking in person skills.
You better get it in.
And
I like that, Kyle. Skills. Look at Kyle going in.
Give him a high five right now. Give him a high five. High five. Listen, did y'all catch it? We got a high five going. It's the truth, Texting too. I was in corporate America. Have emails come through, and you send a professional email, and it's the letter U instead of YOU. I'm not okay with that.
Correct.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Look like they're like, oh, we're not supposed to do that. No.
Like yours, you are.
Exactly.
I do that.
I'm like, who's sending this? Like, who's sending this? Oh, no way. And here's the thing.
And it's very important. It's very important for the parents, because I talk to a lot of parents as well, because I did a lot of youth ministry, and youth ministry is for parents as well. So I believe churches should have a portion where youth pastors or associate pastors talk to the parents on how to raise children in the 21st century. Raising children nowadays is totally different than raising children back when a lot of us were growing up. We are the generation before this generation.
Right.
And so, how do we nurture? Because balance is everything. But when I did my research and I found out about Columbine, it was kind of alarming to me that the parents didn't know their children were making bombs in their house.
Right.
So, like when I was growing up, we couldn't even have doors. They took the doors off the hinges because
amen.
Don't get no privacy.
No, my mother said that.
House. But how could you be so disconnected from your children? And I think sometimes it's generational.
Yes.
If our parents didn't really have a relationship with us, and so a lot of times there's a book called The 5 Love Languages.
Right.
And there it talks about loving people the way that they need to be loved. Everybody have a different love language.
Absolutely.
And so some people say, I love hard. And you loving them hard right out of in love with you. You feel what I mean?
Exactly.
So your kids don't feel your love, but it's nothing wrong with finding what their love language is and developing, I would say, a scale of balance. So they don't always get their way, but you do reward them for what they do good, and that you are connected. You're involved in what they're doing.
Absolutely.
You should know what they're reading. You'll be amazed with how many parents can't help their children with their homework.
Amen.
Or connect them or
I
know
had
what
a
they're
moment
reading
like that.
and what parents in touch. You got YouTube. You got help nowadays.
No, it's the truth.
Like how to do calculus, and they'll tell you step by step. So parents should play more of an initial role.
Absolutely.
With where their children are.
I think that's very, very good too. But it's all really good. And again, I'm super excited. We are reaching our time here, but thank you so much, because that was some really good information as well. And I want to have another segment where we can actually talk to some parents and let's really have these conversations, because again, sometimes it's just simply about resources or different tactics. Somebody said, well, what do you do? I said, not give them a bunch of options, because that's what it was for me when I was growing up. I didn't even know. I don't have a great idea of what I like at 16, or 15. We think we don't like camping until you get to camping. You know what I'm saying? So anyhow, I want to thank everybody again so much for being a guest on Inspired Living. I enjoyed you, Kyle and Kaylee. This won't be the last time that I see you, hopefully. Thank you so much, David Brown. Definitely want to have you back as well. And I wanted to, lastly but not least, thank my parents for bringing them out today. And thank you again to everybody for tuning in to our show and allowing me the opportunity to speak into your life, as well as the inspirational pastor, David Brown. Thank you, Facebookers, tweeters, and all that good stuff, for all your love and support and for tuning in. You are tuned in to Inspired Living, the inspiration station for the nation, with our first Teen Talk Friday. Again, as always, you know I'm super excited, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side of happy.